AI is here. This can make it so much better. And if there's a better way, let's do it the best way we can, just getting out started. So we knew AI would be a big um, element in this whole technology world coming up, and that it would make things so much easier. And our whole premise is let's make boating easier. So we actually rebuilt it and put AI all throughout the system.
We're going to be talking about BoatBot, and it's your company, it's your app that you and your husband started, and I'm really excited to kind of dive into it because it's very interesting to me. I mean, first of all, who doesn't want a yacht one day, right? Who doesn't want a boat one day? Who doesn't want to be out in the ocean somewhere? And you guys kind of took a little bit of a different approach of actually how to take care of those boats, because boats are not easy to take care of.
They're not.
What do you say about that?
Actually, it became a full-time job for us. We were enjoying retirement. We were out on the boat as much as possible, and it just became so difficult to manage because you think about it, when you have a boat, you have so many different people who help manage your boat, who do the services on your boat. You have people who do the washing, people who do the bottom of the boat, people who do the electronics on the boat. And as a boat owner, you've got to keep track of all of this and constantly scheduling. And there's always something wrong with the boat, always something happening. That's just the name of the game, and everybody knows it when you get into boating.
So this was just something. So how did you come up with this idea? I mean, was it just late at night and you're like, light bulb came on, or was it through some other inspiration? How did it happen?
Actually, we were on our boat. We had a 64 Absolute named Happy Place. And we were headed over to Catalina one day, and the boat was running real slow, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And when we got there, our swim platform wouldn't go down. And we said, okay, that's a problem. So we called our service guy, and he came and he took a look at the whole boat, couldn't figure anything out. Everything was great. Came to find out we had to have the boat hauled out of the ocean. And when they do that, they put it on this big lift, take it out.
Okay.
That's costly. And when we looked at the bottom of the boat, there was algae, there was all kinds of stuff growing on the bottom. And what happens in salt water, Danny, is you have zincs, and they go on the bottom of your boat, and those kind of break up the electrolysis in the water so that you don't have things growing on it, and you don't have the electrolysis and the salt eating at all the metals.
Right.
And it was corroding the rods that go to the swim platform. Which the whole prevention of this is you have a diver who comes once a month, cleans the bottom of your boat, and they redo the zincs, and all is fine. And we had that same diver for 4 years, and this was right at the end of COVID. And when we called him and said, hey, what happened? You couldn't have been managing our boat right now. And he said, oh man, sorry, my dad got sick, and sorry about that. And we're like, well, that's fine, but the invoices kept coming, so we thought you were there. And he said, oh man, that's on QuickBooks. It's automated. I apologize. I haven't been there in 3 months.
Wow.
And had we known that, we obviously would have gotten a new diver. None of this would have happened, but it ended up costing us $15,000 just to replace everything and get it all fixed. And we didn't have our boat for about 5 weeks in the middle of the summer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is like a total absolute mess.
Yes.
And so all of a sudden this pops in your brain somehow?
So no, we actually said, okay, there's got to be an app out there that we can figure all this stuff out that'll help us manage all these different providers. And just started searching, and there was not. I just wanted to pay $10 a month and continue with my retirement. And there was absolutely nothing out there. And we said, okay, we've done this before. We've had a technology company in the past where we were able to solve a problem. So let's just do it again. And we know what the boater needs. And we worked with several of our vendors and interviewed as many people as we possibly could to come up with everyone's requirements. What does it take to make boating easier? And that's how we came up with BoatBot.
I love it, man. What an exciting story. And so, all right, so take us back a little bit so we kind of get to know you a little bit. What did you do before? What other technology company did you build? I mean, where were you? Were you guys raised in California? Tell me a little bit about you and your husband.
Okay, all the way back. So I was raised in New England, which means coming from Massachusetts, you spend your summers in Cape Cod, which means you're boating. So I've been boating since I was 3 years old, and that was my bonding time with my father, and absolutely love boating. And then I met David, who was from Oklahoma, which doesn't have a whole lot of boating. We've got, but Oklahoma has lake boating, which is very different than ocean boating. So we lived in Oklahoma together for about 20 years. And then when our daughter graduated from high school, he said, okay, where do you want to move now? And I said, I've always wanted to be in California. That's my dream. So we moved here, and our first boat was a 50-foot marquee. That was our first happy place. And then we upgraded to a 64 Absolute, the new happy place.
Okay. And so that's how you made the trek to California, huh?
That is. And our company prior, I'm sure you've heard of the company Indeed, which is when you're looking for a job, you can go on that website.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Our technology prior was, it actually got absorbed by Indeed. So that is our technology. But back in the day when we created it, it was back in 2003, we started the company. It was primarily to work with casinos, who are a very highly regulated business, and have employees all the way from the cook to the CEO. And back then, people didn't have iPhones and they didn't have computers or laptops. So we needed to find a way for the big casinos of the world and Jim Grants of the world to sort through the thousands and thousands of applicants that they were getting in a given day and be able to hire them, do their performance reviews, and continue the life of the employee. And that's what we created with hrLogix. And knowing we did it before, where we said, okay, there were, like I said, the cook to the CEO. We've got all different levels of skill sets in here. If you look at the boating world, it's the same thing. You've got a lot of older boaters who've been in it forever and generations, and they don't want new technology. And you've got a lot of the new guys coming in. Maybe they've made a bunch of money in their tech businesses, whatever it is, and they want to come in and just have fun on their boat. They don't want to maintain it. They didn't even realize all this was required.
Right.
So in this case, it's kind of the same thing. We found a way to find the challenge, implement the solution, and make it simple enough from the most sophisticated to the most unsophisticated user of the system. I think what we've got is a gold mine. Everyone who's looked at it has said, wow, where has this been? You figured it all out. So
have you guys, have you always been like tech nerds? I mean, is this like from high school, or I mean, what kind of, like, were you a good kid in school? I mean, did you get good grades? Were you like the valedictorian brain child of how do you know all this stuff, to do all this stuff?
Well, it's funny. I always say I used to be a lot smarter than I am. Yes, I got good grades. However, was I a good student? Not always. But honestly, it's just trying to figure it all out. There's got to be a better way. Every time I look at something, it's okay, there's got to be a better way. And when we built BoatBot, halfway through, AI came out. And we looked at that and said, hold on, if we launch right now, we're already ready to launch. AI's here. This can make it so much better. And if there's a better way, let's do it the best way we can, just getting out started. So it's just figuring out the problem, looking at it from a very simple, easy way, and then what can we do? And I've always surrounded myself with people that are a lot smarter than me in the areas that I'm not that smart. We've got a great team. We have, I think, 16 on the tech team now. So we're building it up. That's not the goal. We don't want a big, huge company, but we're as big as we need to be right now. And that was the same thing with our last company. If you do it right, you do it smart, you have a small, nimble team, you can really pivot when you need to pivot, go the direction you need to go, wherever your customers are leading you.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here.